Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. Let's take a look at where we are on the Cardano chart. Price-wise, not much has happened since the last video. We are still below 80 cents, but I think we can identify a very interesting pattern on the chart I want to really draw your attention to. Overall, looking at it a little bit more long term, we can see that Cardano is still in this descending channel. Yes, still below the 50-day moving average, still below the 200-day moving average. Might actually be worth to take a look at the 20-day moving average as well. I think I'll start looking at that now more closely again. I did that in the past, sort of stopped doing it as we all just went down, but the 20-day moving average can be a relevant indicator as well, a little bit more short term. You can see that this is pushing the price down a little bit as well. So the first indicator would be to talk about a potential change in trend is that the price is switching or swapping or moving above the 20-day moving average. All right. So the 20-day moving average is currently sitting at 87 cents here. Yeah. So as long as Cardano, however, is still in this descending channel, we can very well define where the price might be heading. Yeah. And if it loses support here and the next support will be 75 cents, then we are, in my view, heading towards this yellow target area. I have no reason to believe that is changing at the moment because the trend is still down, the momentum is still down. However, what we can, I think, identify on the chart is here still, or another form of a descending wedge. Again, that is a rather bullish pattern, and there are always different ways of how you can draw it. Yeah, it is a bit subjective how you do it, but it is still an interesting pattern. You've got definitely 3 touch points down here. You can maybe move it a little bit lower. Yeah, and what that means is that you are really moving within this descending wedge, and we had such a wedge that was here back in July. Yeah, so in terms of the fractal, this looks really very similar. And that could indicate that we really get into the last leg of the correction here, that we are in the last meters of the correction. But as you can see, just because it's a descending wedge, which is a rather bullish pattern, it means we can still head further down. Yeah, there is still space in this descending wedge, and we could even in this descending wedge probably come down towards this yellow target area. As you can see here, there's no reason we couldn't. Yeah, absolutely. And this could just be a wick to the downside or something. So just because we are in a rather, you could call it bullish pattern, doesn't mean that it needs to break out tomorrow. There is still further space, but the message here is, and that is similar to many other cryptos, a lot of these altcoins are starting to develop something like a descending wedge. And we have seen across the crypto market, the altcoin market, also in the middle of last year, before the pump happened, the second part of that pump last year, we saw those descending wedges all over the place. Yeah, so we are close to the end of the correction, I think, but it means there is potentially still further downside, and I have to assume that there is further downside until anything changes, and so far nothing has changed yet, but we can identify this interesting pattern, and that is certainly one that if we break out of this, this could be big. Yeah, this could be big. But at the moment we are approaching here, first of all, this next support at 75 cents, and then we can go down further to 55 cents. Yeah, I think if we lose that 75 cent level, there isn't much support here through between 75 and 55. So that is where we could expect quite a fast price drop. Yeah, so what that means essentially, this descending wedge, is that the downtrend is starting to slow down. Okay. Looking at the indicators, let's take a look on the daily chart. We can see that we are still in the bearish range on the RSI. Until that changes as well, I wouldn't be very confident with any kind of a breakout to the upside. We had fake outs here in the past, very briefly, where the RSI did go above 50. Those were all fake outs, no sustainable move to new all-time highs. The MACD is potentially going to change to bullish here again, but it is rather moving sideways. So at the moment there is no bullish crossover yet, but keep an eye on that on the daily chart. And interestingly, on the weekly, the RSI is continuously, steadily decreasing this bearish momentum, so decreasing this negative momentum. The line isn't turning around that, but what I can tell you is that the MACD is getting so low in the MACD line that if this is turning around, I think it's as low as it has ever been. It's never been lower. This next pump will be big. Yeah, I mean, it is it is so much oversold, and that is maybe Cardano's advantage, because Cardano started so early with a correction compared to the other altcoins that the indicators are so low that the next move to the upside can be really big. Yeah, it can be really big. Here, stochastic RSI also definitely super low. The MACD, I mean on the MACD on the monthly one and the RSI on the monthly, you still have space for further downside, but the MACD on the monthly is approaching support here as well. And if we drop further on the monthly, it will also be at a historically low level. Also, on the monthly, the stochastic RSI is as oversold as it can only be, you know, historical low as well. And for the first time ever, or well, for the first time since December 2019, we might get in the oversold area, I mean, from such a low point, we get another bullish cross, and that would be amazing, because this is a buy signal. This is a potential buy signal. Not telling you to buy, that's up to you, but it is considered a buy signal. We did that before. Whenever you got here a bullish crossover on the MACD, that did materialize in new all-time highs. Okay, so that's interesting. That's really what I wanted to show you here. That is bullish, whereas the MACD is still pointing down. So it doesn't mean it needs to happen immediately, yeah, but as you can see, when we had it here back in December 2019, the bullish crossover, it also took a bit of time until it really picked up, but it since then it actually started to rise. And again, I already know what the question will be. You get that buy signal here, and the price starts to rise. Do I still expect the price to land in that yellow target area? Yeah, until the price changes what it's doing, I do. But what I need to say is that Cardano doesn't need to get into it. Cardano has dropped far enough. Cardano has made a lower low compared to that wave A. It's done what it needs to do in a correction. So at any point in time, it could complete the correction. That's really the message here. So good news, I think, for all ADA holders, and we're getting really close to the end of the correction, I think. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership for access to Discord, the Discord channel, the Discord server, the Telegram live chat, and a weekly live stream. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.